These dogs are trained to apprehend and release on their handler's command. Now, can I taste test one of these peanuts?
I would love for you to taste them. They are great.
All right, let's try this.
WDHN's LILA Grace is at the courthouse. She's been at the courtroom today as Finnegan took the stand. LILA, what's going on with this trial?
Well, Gary, Crystal Finnegan said in a tearful testimony the last thing she remembers before the accident is singing with her two sons. She says she remembers waking up in the hospital and being told that her 11-year-old son had died and that her 9-year-old son was in critical condition. Now, Gary and Elle, again, nothing has been decided as of right now. They're going to come back tomorrow and continue deliberating at 8:30 a.m. Once a verdict is reached, we, of course, will be bringing you that information. Reporting live from the Houston County Courthouse, LILA Grace, WDHN News.
Thanks, LILA.
Here, Gary, Elle, like I said, I've got a corn dog for both of you, but if you guys don't get out here, I'm going to eat these, and Vicki and I will have one later after the show. Street Elementary, a board that's supposed to inform its students, today is sending a message of hate. Have you made your New Year's resolutions yet? Because we're just hours away from the new year.
When they found my mom, I thought they were going to tell me that she was all right.
But Chantel Floyd quickly learned her worst nightmare had come true. Police say her mother, 50-year-old Deborah Floyd, had been murdered by her ex-boyfriend of 9 years before turning the gun on himself.
I don't think nobody ever think my mama leave her like that.
It all started yesterday when she didn't show up for work. Ozark police showed up at her home, 150 Deborah Lane, and believed she was kidnapped. They noticed her car was gone, but Thomas McLean, her ex-boyfriend's car, was parked nearby and his cell phone was in her driveway. They were later found in Pike County, both dead in her car. Ozark's Police Chief Tony Spivey says cases like these are often the hardest to handle.
Got a lady that's murdered, and there is no justice in that because he took his own life.
Family members gathered at Deborah's home to mourn her loss, and her daughter Chantel says she only wishes someone would have spoken up.
And I want to tell anybody, if you know anybody that's somebody hurting them, you better do something, you better do it fast.
Now, all Chantel and her brother and sister can do is remember their mother, one who they say never lacked compassion.
She never owed a grudge. She didn't even have a grudge against him. My mama was a good person throughout her whole life.
I was a single mother with a 3-year-old child who adored his father. Every day would ask me, "Mama, where's Daddy at?" And I would tell him, "Daddy's in heaven with Jesus."
Sitting by the door waiting for him to come home.
12 years ago, Chasen's parents came to Dothan to do some shopping, but his dad never made it home.
I was tired, and he says, "Well, lay your head down and go to sleep." He said, we exchanged "I love yous." And the next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital. They finally told me that, we'd been in a car wreck, we'd been hit by a drunk driver. Anthony didn't survive.
District Attorney Doug Valeska said Derek Often killed James Anthony Johnson. Often was only 19 years old when he was driving in Cottonwood with a blood alcohol level of 0.16, almost double the legal limit.
My son lost his dad forever. What's your life worth? Everything to your family.
The jury found Often guilty of murder and sentenced him to life. But after spending 10 years behind bars, Often was able to come up for parole. And just this week, the family had to face a parole board, asking them to keep Often behind bars and forcing them to relive the day they lost Dad.
I think about it every day. When I look at Chase, and I'm going to miss his high school graduation, his college graduation, his marriage, the birth of his children, the things that mean the most to us. It's gone.
Family members read a letter to the parole board asking them to keep Often in prison.
They denied him for the maximum 5 more years, so he'll stay in prison for 5 more years, and then once again he would come back up for parole.
It's been like a roller coaster.
A roller coaster ride that may never end, but could have been prevented. In Dothan, LILA Grace, WDHN News.
I've pondered that thought several times. Why do children want to make other children feel inadequate?
It's a question Principal Judy Fowler asked herself today and has revisited several times in her 37 years working in education. She says it's lack of self-esteem, and when there isn't self-esteem, there's plenty of taunting and teasing. 15-year-old Kyle Tipton knows what it's like to be a victim of bullying.
Name calling, just about my name, my weight, and stuff like that.
And he said he isn't the only victim. In fact, he has heard a slew of dirty words being exchanged among classmates.
A bunch of cuss words and a bunch of other words that I probably shouldn't say on the camera.
He couldn't say it on camera, but as 17-year-old Shelby Crunk explains, he didn't need to, because bullying isn't just verbal abuse anymore.
Text messages are sent around sometimes that aren't ever really nice.
Minor things such as name calling now are spread to everybody via the internet, cell phones.
Popular websites like Facebook and MySpace have become the new jungle gym. And instead of passing notes, students just hit send. But will it ever stop? Alabama passed an anti-bullying law in October called the Student Harassment Prevention Act. Could that be the solution?
I don't think it will ever go away.
In the meantime, Tipton says he'll just take the high road.
And I just turned my head, let go in one ear and out the other.
In Cottonwood, LILA Grace, WDHN News.